We knew it was coming. In fact, I predicted that the Republicans would play possum, claim that they weren't trying to stop Donald Trump and that he was the presumptive nominee and would only return later, trying to steal the delegates and overthrow the popular vote of the people of the United States. The story's up on Infowars.com. Republican operatives launch all-out effort to unbind the delegates and deny Trump the nomination. Then we have a report out of Idaho, a very, very frightening report, because regardless of whether the rape report is accurate or not, which evidence points towards it being very accurate, there is a cover-up of the town financing and authorizing the building of a mosque in less time than the town gives local townspeople authorization to build a barn on their property or to put a window in. This is pure Agenda 21 resettling the United States with massive numbers of Syrian refugees that the establishment is keeping secret. Report: 3 Syrian refugees rape little girl at knife point in Idaho. And it follows the pattern of cover-up we're seeing in Europe, we're seeing in Australia, we're seeing in Canada, we're seeing across the United States. There's also the giant cover-up of the number of refugees being brought in. I want to remind folks of our report from even last year and other reports this year. My alma mater, Anderson High School, received 220 plus Syrian and Iraqi refugees in the last year. That's more than they claim all of Texas has taken in the last year. We called other high schools. All of them were taking hundreds. That's just the children. I see Muslims in full hijabs and burqas all over Austin, Texas. We have photographed it. So has Tim Kennedy. The point is these numbers are much larger than we're being told. This is all coming up and more. First, David Knight's going to be in, breaking down a whole spectrum of news and information. And at the bottom of the hour, I'll be in studio via the road on Skype, breaking all of this down in great detail. There is so much more we're going to be covering. This story is also on Infowars.com. 6 diseases that were gone from the U.S. have now returned, and migration advocates celebrate World Refugee Day. Until recently, most Americans believe these diseases were gone from our shores for good. Why were we suddenly talking about World Refugee Day in the last few years? Because this is the globalist invasion plan. Remember, the founder of the European Union, top Bilderberg Group member Peter Sutherland, celebrated for his activities pushing planetary regimes, has openly told the BBC and others they want to end the whiteness of Europe and other areas. This is open racism, but it's beyond that. It is about having everybody so homogenized, so divided, so conquered, not even letting the groups that you bring in basically be part of a melting pot, that you can then use that as a control system. I know this is divide and conquer. I know that's obvious for those of you out there listening, but remember, we're reaching out to people out there who are not aware of what's happening. And we've got to just keep hammering and hammering and hammering. This is the great game, divide and conquer program. And that they're going to use giant third world populations that they've already helped impoverish and that they control to flood the West, to drive down wages, and then to be balkanized political voting blocs to take full control. This is how you checkmate what's left of nation states. This is how you bring in total control. And I'll return in T-minus 25 minutes. It's a big broadcast. Stay with us. Hey folks, it's Alex Jones here on a very rare and I think deserved semi-vacation, but my vacations are all basically working vacations because the New World Order never sleeps and never stops. And so I'm out here on the fishing boat about to get back into dock, and then I will race in and get the Skype fired up from my hotel room and be live with you here today. But first off, I want to play a few excerpts that Joe Biggs got and others out on the road talking to folks running around waving Mexican flags and things like that, saying, let's make the United States Mexico again. And then we've got the big Trump news coming up. Corey Lewandowski is out. We knew that a few weeks ago, but now it's happened. Roger Stone will be joining us with exclusives and so much more. So I'll be live here at the bottom of the hour. Alex Jones sending you an audio transmission from the middle of the Caribbean Ocean. Stay with us.
Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now we're at the anti-Trump rally right down the road for where Donald Trump will be speaking later on this afternoon. What's your name, sir?
Renee.
Renee? And why are you here today?
I'm just here to give my support to this community, giving back, showing that, that we're not going to let ourselves get taken over by somebody that has so much hate against us, and that it's always looking to blame somebody instead of themselves, and showing other ways to show how to care about people.
So do you live here in America?
Yes, I do.
So why not have the American flag?
Because my parents were also here illegally, and I'm supporting them. They brought us, came from Mexico to give a better life.
But I mean, they left for a reason, because it's bad, right?
Yes, they did.
But my thing is, and that's why it looks bad for a lot of demonstrators when I go to all these rallies, when people wave Mexican flags and not the American flag. If Mexico was good, then people would stay, but people come here because it's a better life for their family, So don't you think your message would get by a lot better if you actually had the American flag to show that you are with America, but you have Mexican roots,
I'm more Mexican than American. I'm more Mexican because...
So is your allegiance to Mexico or to America?
Both. Because I have both nationalities. I have Mexican nationality and Mexican nationality.
Because, I have a lot of buddies that came from Mexico, joined the U.S. Army, fought in combat.
So they have both nationalities.
Yeah, but they got their American citizenship, and they would never be caught dead. They only would have an American flag.
I just put this for example, at soccer games, at events, how come we don't do the national anthem? How come we just do the countries that that whoever they're playing? How come we don't do the national anthem afterward? All three, teams have done it. Why? I'm asking you.
Oh, I don't watch sports, so I don't know.
Then there we go. So because
I don't believe in sports. I think there's more important things to care about in the world. Like, if people are more concerned about racism, turn off the soccer game, turn off the football games, turn off the basketball games, and actually get out on the streets and do something about it in a peaceful way and bring attention to it instead of glorifying people that really don't care about you.
Like I said, just my way of showing, people that are here illegally, they can't come out here as well. Maybe showing the Mexican flag makes them want to, at least there's somebody out there that's speaking for us, that we're under the shadows, that they can't talk for us, because they're afraid of coming out here and getting harassed or arrested or whatever. Because
who are they going to be harassed by?
Just by anybody, just because they don't know how to defend themselves in, talking in English. And they only know in Spanish.
So do you support this kind of rally, or do you support the violent rallies that you see outside?
No, just peaceable. I think it's better because that's what we're here to do. We're not here to go do violence and stuff like that, because if we do violence, then, the world will be full of violence.
Well, like what we saw in San Jose, California, Albuquerque, all those different places, when someone wants to go see a presidential candidate, regardless if you agree with them or not, Americans have the right to go see that person speak, do you agree?
Correct, I do.
And my thing is, I get upset when I witness this stuff, when people go out to these rallies and are being spit on, cursed at, called racist because they want to go see this guy talk. A lot of them aren't even for him. They're just curious to see what he has to say. They've never seen him in person, but they get spit on, demonized, and that looks bad when I see protesting like that,
Don't they cause it to themselves? They wear Donald Trump shirts and they're just going to go up.
Yeah, but that's freedom of speech.
Exactly.
Like you can wear Stop Hate Trump. Or I saw a guy in Dallas yesterday that had a shoot Trump. That's his freedom of speech, but you're inciting violence.
Yeah, but are you going to go see him for the first time and wear a Donald Trump shirt, or are you going to go just as a civilian just to hear what he...
Well, I didn't say every single person in there was their first time, but
I'm just talking about in general.
Okay, but I see Bernie Sanders people go to rallies with Bernie shirts on. Why are they not? He's a socialist. Look at what's happened in Venezuela.
Yeah, it was going... True, but what can you do? At least we're not here to cause.
Yeah, I know, but my thing is if we're gonna have freedom of speech in America, everyone should have the right to wear a Donald Trump shirt, whatever. You have the right to have a Mexican flag on, but at the same time, it should be your allegiance, what always should be, with America, because that's where you live, that's where you're able to have a job, if you have kids, to raise them up.
Like I told you, I did it because there's a bunch of people out there that can't come to these rallies because they're afraid to live under the shadow, scared of Joe Arpaio, just by even going down the street to go get groceries. Why not support them? Why not have them in our back? If we can do it, and have a voice because we're citizens here, why not support the people that are living under the shadows?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now we're walking down the road, and as you can see, they have taken a blow-up Donald Trump doll, or a blow-up Donald Trump balloon thing. Put him in a KKK outfit. This is at 15th Avenue in Vernon. It says, "Make America Hate Again, Trump." And then you got some dumbass over here that says, "Make America Mexico Again." So why do you want to make America Mexico again? It's what?
This is a statement that's me protesting the anti-Mexican immigrant rhetoric.
How is it anti?
Anti-Mexican?
Yeah, how?
Well, he called us criminals and rapists.
No, he said that the criminals were coming over, which is a fact.
Is it?
I mean, some have come over, yes. I mean, if it's not our fault if you take it the wrong way, if you think that you're a criminal, he said that some are coming over that are criminal.
Well, as a politician, you obviously don't stereotype a whole community of people, a whole demographic of people as a certain way. You should know that clearly affects the way those people are viewed, and that affects those people personally.
Okay, well, I feel affected when the government comes out and says that I should be demonized because one guy went in with a gun and killed a whole bunch of people. So why should I be put into that category? Why should I be looked at as a bad person because I like guns?
Are you? Does media do that to you as a white male?
Of course. Oh, I'm the white man thing.
Oh, you are, aren't you?
Yeah. Got good eyes.
Thanks.
So why are you guys out here today?
Why are we out here? Because we don't support Donald Trump or his racist rhetoric, and we don't want that in our country.
Have you ever talked to him before or met him? Or did you just watch that on MSNBC and hear that?
I've seen the way he speaks. I've seen his interviews. I think that reflects the way he thinks of, his policy.
So what do you think about his temporary ban on Muslims?
Temporary ban on Muslims. I think it's very reminiscent of Hitler's policy towards Jews back in the day.
How many Jews has Trump killed?
0.
So why is he compared to Hitler then?
How many Jews did Hitler kill before that rhetoric? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're already demonizing him and he's done nothing. You don't want to be demonized for something you didn't do. You said you're not a criminal.
Have I?
So why would you do that to him?
Because I haven't personally attacked or gone after a certain group of people.
So neither is he.
I believe that he has through his
Temporary
policy.
ban on Muslims?
Has it happened yet? Is that happening?
He's proposing it. It's in his
Yeah,
policy.
but that's the good thing about the U.S. government. They have to go through Congress and all that. Do you think those people are going to let it happen? I mean, let's be realistic here.
So should we just waste our time while this goes filibustering through Congress if he comes
How
into
would
power?
the face of America be if Donald Trump is proposing we have temporary bans on Congress? That's such a bad face, even if it would be stopped in Congress. Do you understand that?
Oh, I understand, but I'm saying, but it's just like Bernie Sanders is a socialist. Like, if he were to, it's whatever you want to call it, but regardless.
But that's ignorance. No, you don't know what. You're just comparing it to socialism, but democratic socialism is different.
It's been done in this country and it worked. It
Yeah.
pulled us out of the repression while FDR was a president.
Okay, so why are you here today?
I'm here because we want to send a message to Trump that his ideas do not reflect a lot of ours in Phoenix.
So do you support violence outside Trump rallies, spitting on other protesters because you have a different point of view than them?
Absolutely not. And we are not. We want to keep this peaceful. We've seen different rallies, such as those where they're blocking highways, and we are not standing for that today. We want to send a peaceful message, like her says, that love trumps hate.
All right, and I appreciate it. That's awesome. That's the worst thing you can possibly do is when I hear people come out and protest. I don't care if people protest. What I don't like is when someone goes to a protest and they spit on people and throw eggs at them like they did in San Jose.
Yeah, we are.
So,
we don't want
cool.
that to happen. And if that
Well, thank you.
happens to us, we-
Keep it that way. That's awesome. Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
It appears that the TV watchers of America need to be reminded yet again that any fair play you had expected in mainstream media is dead. Your right to not be lied to by the State Department was executed quietly on the floor of the U.S. Congress on July 2nd, 2013, when the Smith-Munn Act, essentially an anti-propaganda law signed on January 27th, 1948 by President Harry S. Truman, was nullified by the NDAA of 2013. The Smith-Munn Act was created to wipe out the influence of any communist, New World Order infiltration in the U.S. State Department with a grip on the mind of the average American citizen. In 1948, following the onslaught of the Nazi propaganda machine and the